If you haven't heard of Baldur's Gate 3 at this point, you might have found this by leaving autoplay on at night. It is undeniably one of gaming's greatest highlights of the past decade, and while this game offers one of the best experiences to roleplay and immerse yourself in, instead of making a mirror of myself, I chose to play as a female character, a tiefling to be precise. Now, I am a guy, don't get me wrong, but if given the choice, I usually prefer to play as the female character in a video game. How come when given the chance to insert myself into a new world and have my in-game character portray my actual gender, I instead decide to pick a different one? Watch me as I try to answer the simple question, why did I play as a girl? If I'm forced to look at a character for countless of hours, I want that character to at least be nice to look at. Or something along those lines with varying degeneracy. While yes, straight men unsurprisingly find it nice to look at pretty women rather than men, this argument doesn't hold up for first-person games, or games without a traditionally attractive female character. Take Female V in Cyberpunk as an example. The game was designed from the ground up to be a first-person game. The only instance where you fully see your character in third person during gameplay is while riding a bike. Despite that, I still picked Female V for my first playthrough, so this reason surely can't be the only one. It's fun to mix it up sometimes. Now we're getting somewhere. It's exciting to step out of your boundaries once in a while if you're accustomed to mainly playing as male characters. But what if, like me, you mainly pick female characters? I think there's much more implied here than just escapism from playing a mirror to yourself. In video game culture, men are usually the more aggressive ones here in competitive games, which is also why women sometimes hide their real gender online. We see this representation of dominant male roles in single-player stories as well, mainly looking at leads like Jason Brody from Far Cry 3, where he may start out as a wimp, but the core theme of the game is him changing to become his primal self, living for the next fight and becoming a one-man army. Do not get me wrong by any means, I loved power fantasies like that to death when I was younger, but I think I'm at a point in my life where I want to see something else. I want to see... I feel like when players say they like to change it up, they actually want to say that they would like to see what it is like not to be themselves. And while that may sound like I just said the same thing twice, there's nuances to be talked about. For one, if you are a guy, you know what it is like to be a guy. You know what it is like to dress like a guy. You know how a guy would talk, walk, and much more. I've been a guy for my whole life now. I will be a guy for the rest of it. When men pick a female character, it allows them to immerse themselves into the idea of experiencing the game world through the eyes of a woman. It allows them to share any potential challenges that come with being a woman, giving new insights into what the other gender might experience in a different world. When playing as Female V, there is a mission for River Ward, one of the side characters, that involves some gang goons trash-talking him when you both return to his car.
Great. Let me handle this, V. Step aside, Lug.
Output here basically means fuck toy. I'm not a girl, but what this insignificant character said, in what is basically a side note, annoyed me. My V was harassed because of her gender. The gangster calls male V River's Choom, which basically means friend. What happens to female V is an entirely new thing to me, so it affects me a lot more. Sticking to Cyberpunk 2077, your romance options are also dependent on your gender. Panam is straight, she will never see you as more than friends if you pick to play as Female V. And I loved that. My monkey brain wanted to romance Panam, but my character didn't. Instead, I got a reliable friend and a friendship between V and Panam that goes beyond attraction to her body. I cut into the topic a little earlier when I said that some men just like to look at attractive characters, and there is some truth in it. If you are a guy and are into girls, would you rather look at a cute girl that you might even be into for 5 hours a day? Or would you want to look at a male model that looks way hotter than you and maybe even makes you feel awkward? tough choice, I know, but this is exactly what the original statement boils down to. But it can't just be that, can it? I love Monster Hunter, and I play a female character in every game, despite hating the fact that many armor sets are just bikinis in disguise. The cosmetics are the main reason my friend plays a male character. The male armor sets are just objectively cooler most of the time, not always though. I'm not playing that character because they look hot, or I would be running around in this or this. Rather, I sometimes just want to play dress up and feel like I can't do that with male characters in most games. From my perspective, the perspective of a man, it takes a different level of creativity to immerse myself into the struggles of a woman. It makes it harsher because I can't know her exact thoughts or feelings. It makes a story spicier because I get to learn these thoughts and feelings in you. I know what a guy would think during a fight, feel during a conversation. I am one. I can't say the same about a girl's feelings. In a scene in The Witcher 3, when Geralt finally reaches Ciri, only to believe that he's too late, he starts to show his vulnerability. It is a beautiful moment. I feel the empathy towards Geralt. I know what he is going through to some extent. But I believe that the women who played Witcher 3 were affected even more by this moment. They got to see what brings a masculine man, and boy is he masculine, to the edge of tears, to immerse themselves into these new feelings they could not have felt as a female character. It is the same for me and the female characters that I play as. I could completely understand the feelings of a father that cries for his dead children. I cannot possibly understand a mother in that same situation. Trying to immerse myself into her thoughts is what adds a whole new layer to the stories of the female characters you play as. In Baldur's Gate 3, my female tiefling became a bookworm wizard, capable of casting the strongest spells in the game and baffling everyone with her intellect. I have to admit, had I picked a male character, I would have just opted to play as a melee class or make a joke character instead of picking what is usually my favorite way to play, and making a visually unique and interesting character. I am glad I chose to play as a woman because then I was able to use it sort of as an excuse to play a less masculine class, one that I actually preferred. I was able to roleplay a smart, capable leader that would sit back and enjoy the chaos she orchestrated with her spells. I was able to enjoy wearing a dress on my tiefling. I could have done the same with a male character, but it wouldn't have looked as cute.